Have you ever noticed how your legs sometimes just don't feel like they used to? Maybe climbing a few steps leaves you out of breath, or your calves cramp up when you least expect it. It's easy to think, well, that's just getting older, and quietly accept these little changes as part of life. But what if it's not just age catching up? What if your legs are sending you important messages that many of us tend to overlook? Most people assume these signs are normal and nothing to worry about, but the truth is that ignoring them can lead to bigger problems down the road. It's surprising how many subtle warnings our bodies give us, especially after 65, that can predict health issues before they become serious. In this video, we're going to explore 6 early warning signs from your legs that you should never ignore. I'll share simple insights and practical tips that can help you listen to your body better and take gentle steps towards staying strong and independent. So stay with me, because by the end, you'll discover the one habit that can make a real difference in how your legs and your life feel every day. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Frequent leg cramps, especially at night. If you're over 65, you probably know this all too well. It's the middle of the night. The house is silent, the world outside is calm, and you're drifting between dreams, when suddenly, a sharp, searing pain slices through your calf. Your leg muscles clench up like a fist, refusing to let go. You gasp, maybe even let out a little cry, and instinctively reach down to rub your leg, willing the cramp to pass. For a few long moments, you're held hostage by that pain, and when it finally eases, you're left feeling tired, anxious, and maybe a bit frustrated. It's hard enough to get restful sleep at our age. Why do these leg cramps seem to strike just when you need rest the most? Many people shrug this off as a normal part of growing older, a nightly nuisance to be endured. You might even joke about it with friends, swapping cramp stories at breakfast or telling your grandkids you've been dancing in your dreams. But if we pause for a moment, it's worth asking, is this just another inevitable sign of aging? Or could your legs be trying to warn you about something more? Here's the thing. For years, we've been told that nighttime leg cramps are simply a fact of life as we age. Just one more thing to grin and bear. But what if that's not entirely true? Recent studies, along with countless real-life stories, have revealed that leg cramps, especially those that strike frequently at night, can be a sign of something deeper happening in your body. In other words, your body might be sending you a wake-up call that shouldn't be ignored. Let's break it down simply. A cramp is when your muscle suddenly tightens up and can't relax. At night, this most often happens in the calf or foot, but it can strike anywhere from your thigh to your toes. The pain is real and intense, and for many seniors, it can ruin a good night's sleep or make you dread going to bed at all. But why does it happen? There are several reasons, and knowing them can help you take back control. First, dehydration is a major culprit. As we get older, our sense of thirst diminishes. We simply don't feel as thirsty, so we end up drinking less water than our bodies need. Muscles need water and electrolytes to function smoothly. When you're low on fluids, your muscles are more likely to spasm and cramp. Another common cause is an imbalance of minerals in your body, especially potassium, calcium, and magnesium. These minerals act like tiny conductors, making sure the electrical signals in your muscles fire correctly. If you don't get enough of these nutrients in your diet, or if your body has trouble absorbing them because of certain medications or health conditions, your muscles can get confused and cramps become more frequent. There's also the issue of circulation. If you spend long periods sitting, lying down, or being inactive, your blood flow can slow down, especially in your legs. Poor circulation means your muscles aren't getting enough oxygen or nutrients, which makes them more likely to cramp up. Even some prescription medications can play a role. Diuretics, often called water pills, are commonly prescribed for high blood pressure or heart problems, but they can flush important minerals from your system. Statins for cholesterol or medications for osteoporosis can also increase the risk of cramps. If you've started a new medication recently and noticed more nighttime cramps, it's worth discussing with your doctor. So, what can you do about it? The good news is that you don't have to simply accept leg cramps as an unchangeable part of your life. There are gentle, practical steps you can start tonight to reduce the frequency and severity of those painful episodes. First, Make hydration a priority. Keep a glass of water by your bed, and try to sip throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. Some seniors find it helpful to add a pinch of salt or a splash of electrolyte solution to their water, especially on warm days or after any physical activity. Next, pay attention to your diet. Include foods rich in potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Bananas, sweet potatoes, avocados, spinach, beans, yogurt, and nuts are all excellent choices. If you're concerned about your intake, ask your healthcare provider if a supplement is right for you, but always check first, especially if you have kidney or heart issues. Gentle stretching before bed can make a world of difference. Try this. Sit on the edge of your bed and slowly stretch your legs out in front of you. Flex your feet up toward your body, holding the stretch for 20 to 30 seconds. Or stand with your hands against a wall, place one foot behind the other, and gently press your back heel into the ground. This stretches the calf muscle and prepares it for rest. A few simple stretches at night can help release tension and make cramps less likely. Movement during the day matters, too. Even if you aren't able to walk far, try to avoid sitting in the same position for hours. Flex your ankles, wiggle your toes, and take short strolls around your home. Good circulation keeps your muscles healthy and happy. Now, let me tell you about Helen, a retired teacher from Ohio. Helen is 72, and until recently, she'd wake up almost every night with painful leg cramps. She'd try to walk it off or rub her legs, but nothing seemed to help. After talking to her doctor, she learned about the importance of hydration and minerals. Helen started carrying a water bottle with her everywhere. She even decorated it with stickers from her grandkids. She made small changes in her meals, adding more leafy greens and snacking on nuts instead of chips. Before bed, she followed a simple stretching routine her doctor showed her. Within just a few weeks, Helen noticed a real change. The cramps came less often, and on the rare nights they did return, they were less severe. "I feel like I have my nights back," she laughs, "and my days are brighter because I'm finally getting good sleep." The most important thing to remember is this: you are not alone, and you are not powerless. Nighttime leg cramps may be common, but they are not just part of getting old. Your body is wise, and when it's trying to tell you something, it's worth listening. With a few simple steps, drinking enough water, eating nourishing foods, keeping your muscles gently stretched, and checking in with your doctor, you can take control of your nights and reclaim restful sleep. So tonight, as you settle into bed, know that you've already taken the first step by paying attention. Your legs will thank you, and you'll wake up ready to enjoy another beautiful day. You deserve comfort, you deserve restful sleep, and most of all, you deserve to feel good in your body, every single night. 2. Numbness or tingling in the feet and toes. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Imagine this. You're standing at the kitchen counter, ready to fix yourself a cup of coffee in the quiet of the morning. As you shift your weight from one foot to the other, you notice a strange sensation, like your sock is bunched up or you've stepped onto a patch of cotton. Except, of course, you haven't. Instead, there's an odd numbness in your toes. Or maybe it feels like a faint tingling, a little pins and needles, buzzing under your skin. You might stamp your foot, wiggle your toes, or even give your ankle a good shake, hoping to chase the feeling away. Sometimes, it works. But often, the numbness or tingling lingers, quietly nagging at you as you go about your day. For many people over 65, these sensations are all too familiar. It's easy to dismiss them. Maybe you chalk it up to just the way things are as you age, especially if it doesn't seem to cause any real pain or trouble. You might mention it offhand to a friend, or not at all. After all, you tell yourself, it's probably nothing. But is it? Could these subtle signals be your body's way of trying to get your attention before something more serious takes hold? Let's turn the usual thinking on its head. Instead of seeing numbness or tingling as just another quirk of aging, what if we recognize them as early warning signs? Because, in reality, these feelings are not just random. They're clues. They're your nervous system's way of sounding an alarm, gently but persistently. By paying attention, you might catch a problem early, sometimes early enough to prevent bigger challenges down the road. So what's going on beneath the surface? Why do our feet and toes so often become numb, tingly, or oddly sensitive as we grow older? The answer has a lot to do with nerves, circulation, and even the shoes we wear. The most common cause, especially among seniors, is something called peripheral neuropathy. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. The tiny nerves that run down into your feet aren't working as well as they should. They might be getting damaged or squeezed, making it harder for them to send signals back and forth from your brain. Diabetes is one of the biggest culprits. Over the years, high blood sugar can quietly wear away at those tiny nerve endings, sometimes before you even realize your blood sugar is out of control. That's why doctors always ask people with diabetes about their feet. But diabetes isn't the only possible cause. Poor circulation, which can happen when arteries narrow with age or due to cholesterol, means your nerves aren't getting the oxygen and nutrients they need. Other times, certain medications, a lack of vitamins, especially B12, back problems that pinch nerves, or even standing or sitting in one position too long can bring on that odd numbness. And don't overlook something as simple as your footwear. Shoes that are too tight, too loose, or offer little support can compress nerves in the feet and toes, especially if you've lost some padding or flexibility over the years. So what can you do? The good news is, you're not powerless, and small changes can make a meaningful difference. Start by making foot checks part of your daily routine. Sit down and look carefully at your feet, between your toes, along the sides, and on the bottoms. Notice any areas that feel numb, tingly, or just off. If you spot a sore, blister, or cut you didn't feel, take extra care. Loss of sensation means you might not notice an injury, which can become serious if left untreated. Stay active to boost circulation. Even simple ankle circles, wiggling your toes, or a short walk around the house can help keep blood and oxygen flowing to those hard-to-reach places. If you're sitting for long stretches, maybe reading, knitting, or watching TV, set a timer every hour to stand, stretch, and move your feet. Consider your shoes. Make sure they fit well, snug but not tight, with a wide toe box and good support. Avoid walking barefoot, even indoors, if you have significant numbness. You want to protect your feet from accidental injuries you might not feel right away. Keep your blood sugar under control if you have diabetes. Work with your doctor to manage medications, and ask about vitamin levels if you suspect a deficiency. Sometimes, even a mild vitamin B12 supplement can help nerves recover and improve sensation. Let me tell you about Richard, a retired railroad worker from Michigan. For months, he ignored a creeping numbness in his toes, blaming it on getting old and years on my feet. It wasn't until he accidentally burned his foot on a space heater, without realizing it right away, that he understood how much sensation he'd lost. His wife insisted he see his doctor, who diagnosed early diabetic neuropathy. With some small but steady changes, daily walks, better shoes, checking his feet every night, and carefully managing his blood sugar, Richard slowly regained some feeling. More importantly, he hasn't had another serious injury since. I always thought I was just getting clumsy, he says, but now I know my feet were asking for help. It's natural to feel uneasy or even frightened when your body changes in ways you can't control. But numbness and tingling in your feet are not just something to ignore, and they're certainly not something you should feel embarrassed about. If you notice these sensations, bring them up at your next doctor's appointment. The sooner you find the cause, the sooner you can start taking action. Remember, your feet carry you through life's journey. Every step, every dance with the grandkids, every stroll around the block. By listening to what your body is saying, and caring for your feet with the attention they deserve, you give yourself the best chance at staying independent and active for many more years to come. So tonight, when you slip off your socks and put your feet up, give them a gentle wiggle, a kind look, and a little gratitude. You're listening, and your feet will thank you for it. 3. Swelling in the ankles or lower legs. It happens quietly at first. You might be sitting in your favorite recliner, lost in a book, or watching your grandkids play when you glance down and notice something odd about your ankles. They look puffier than usual, the skin stretched tight and shiny. Maybe your socks leave deep marks around your legs, or your shoes feel snugger in the evening than they did in the morning. Sometimes, when you press gently on your skin, a little dent remains for a few seconds before slowly fading away. Well, I guess that's just another part of getting older, you might sigh, and you move on with your day. But should you brush it off so easily? Many people over 65 experience swelling, what doctors call edema, in their ankles or lower legs. It often starts subtly and is easy to dismiss, especially when it's painless. But what if this common symptom is your body's quiet plea for attention? Could it be a warning that something important is happening beneath the surface? Let's pause and challenge the familiar story. Most folks assume that swollen ankles are simply the result of standing too long, summer heat, or even too much salt at lunch. And while those things can certainly play a role, persistent swelling is not something to take lightly. Your body is incredibly wise, and sometimes what seems like a small annoyance is a message, one that deserves your respect and care. What's going on when your ankles or lower legs swell? The explanation starts with your circulation. Your heart is constantly working to pump blood down to your toes and back up again. As we age, this journey gets a little tougher. Veins in the legs can lose some of their strength and elasticity, making it harder for blood to flow upward against gravity. As a result, some fluid leaks out of the veins and collects in the tissues, especially around the ankles. But that's not the only reason. Heart failure, a term that sounds scarier than it often is, means your heart isn't pumping as strongly as it should, so fluid can build up in your legs. Kidney problems can make it harder for your body to get rid of extra fluid, causing swelling to appear, especially at the end of the day. Sometimes, medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or even pain can also contribute to swelling. And if you've ever had a blood clot or suffered an injury, those veins might not work as well as they used to, making swelling more likely. So, how can you tell if your swelling is just an annoyance or a sign of something more serious? Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Swelling that appears suddenly, is painful or comes with other symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, or rapid weight gain could mean it's time to call your doctor right away. Swelling that is mild but persistent still deserves attention and a gentle response. There are several simple steps you can take at home to manage and even reduce swelling in your ankles and legs. First, try to keep your feet elevated when you sit. Prop them up on a stool or pillow so they're above the level of your heart. This encourages fluid to move back up toward your torso and out of your legs. If you're watching TV or reading, make a habit of putting your feet up every hour for at least 15 minutes. Gentle movement is also key. Walking, even short distances around the house, helps your calf muscles squeeze the veins and push fluid back toward your heart. If walking is hard, try ankle circles or simple stretches while seated. Avoid sitting or standing in one position for too long. Set a timer to remind yourself to move every hour. Be mindful of your salt intake. Salt causes your body to retain more water, making swelling worse. Choose fresh, unprocessed foods when possible, and season with herbs or lemon instead of salt. If you're on medication that could contribute to swelling, talk to your doctor about possible alternatives or adjustments. Let me share a story about Margaret, a retired nurse from Indiana. She loved gardening but started noticing her ankles swelling after spending a few hours tending to her flowers. She ignored it at first, assuming it was the summer heat. Over time, the swelling became more persistent. Her daughter, concerned, encouraged her to see her doctor. After a few tests, Margaret learned that her heart wasn't pumping as efficiently as it used to, and her kidneys needed a little extra support. With a few changes to her medication, some dietary tweaks, and a commitment to elevating her feet during the day, Margaret saw a dramatic improvement. "I wish I hadn't waited so long to say something," she admits now. Catching it early made all the difference. It's natural to feel frustrated or even embarrassed by swelling, especially if it means adjusting your routine or wearing different shoes. But please remember, you are not alone. Millions of Americans experience the same thing, and there is no shame in caring for your body. Paying attention to your swelling is an act of love, for yourself, for your independence, and for the people who care about you. If you notice persistent swelling, don't hesitate to reach out to your healthcare team. They can help you uncover the cause and offer solutions tailored just for you. In some cases, they might recommend special compression socks, changes to your medication, or a few extra lab tests to be sure your heart and kidneys are doing their job. In the end, swelling is not just an inconvenience to be ignored. It's your body's way of asking for a little extra care. By elevating your legs, moving often, eating wisely, and working closely with your doctor, you can keep swelling in check and protect your health for years to come. So tonight, when you put your feet up and take a well-earned rest, remember that small actions matter. Listen to your body, honor its signals, and celebrate every step you take toward better health. After all, Your legs and ankles have carried you through so many journeys. Doesn't it feel good to return the favor, one gentle habit at a time? 4. Unexplained weakness or heaviness when walking. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Have you ever started for a walk, maybe just to the mailbox, around the block, or down a grocery store aisle, only to find your legs suddenly feel heavier than lead? It's as if invisible weights have been strapped to your thighs, or someone has turned up the gravity just for you. That sense of unexplained weakness or heaviness when walking can catch you off guard, turning a simple daily task into a tiring ordeal. You might pause, catch your breath, and quietly wonder, is this what getting older feels like? Or is there something more I should pay attention to? You're not alone if you've brushed these feelings aside, blaming them on a slow day, being out of shape, or just the way life is after 65. Maybe you've even told yourself, I'm just tired today. It'll pass. But let's turn that thinking upside down for a moment. What if these sensations, weakness, heaviness, lingering fatigue in your legs, are not simply an unavoidable part of aging, but instead are your body's gentle warning bells? What if, by listening, you could protect your independence, confidence, and even your safety? To understand why your legs sometimes feel like they're working twice as hard as they should, we have to look at what's going on beneath the surface. The act of walking, which once felt effortless, actually requires a beautiful orchestration of muscles, nerves, blood vessels, and your heart working together. When any piece of this system starts to falter, your legs are often the first to speak up. A common but often overlooked cause is something called peripheral artery disease, PAD. Over time, the arteries that deliver oxygen-rich blood to your muscles can become narrowed or clogged by cholesterol and plaque. This means your leg muscles, especially during activity, simply aren't getting enough blood. The result? Your legs feel weak, heavy, or even achy, especially after walking a short distance. Sometimes the feeling eases when you stop to rest, only to return once you get moving. But PAD isn't the only reason. Muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, is a natural part of aging, but it's not inevitable. After the age of 60, we lose muscle mass faster if we don't challenge our bodies with gentle strength training or enough daily movement. This can make the legs feel less stable and more easily fatigued. Sometimes nerve problems, like those from diabetes or spinal issues, can interrupt the signals telling your legs how and when to move. Certain medications, dehydration, or even low levels of important minerals can also leave your legs feeling drained. The good news is that you don't have to simply accept this as your new normal. There are gentle, practical steps you can take, starting today, to improve your leg strength, stamina, and confidence. Start by paying close attention to when you feel weakness or heaviness. Does it happen only when walking? How far can you go before it starts? Does it get better if you rest? Jot down these details and bring them to your next doctor's appointment. PAD is very treatable if caught early. Your doctor may check the pulses in your feet, order a simple ultrasound, or talk with you about lifestyle changes and medications that can improve blood flow. Meanwhile, move your body every day in ways that feel good. Even if you can't walk as far as you once did, short, frequent strolls are better than none at all. Gentle exercises, like seated leg lifts, standing heel raises, or even practicing getting up and down from a chair, can rebuild strength and help circulation. Water aerobics, Tai Chi, and simple stretching routines are wonderful ways to keep muscles engaged without straining your joints. Nutrition matters too. Fuel your body with foods rich in protein, like eggs, beans, poultry, and fish, along with leafy greens and colorful vegetables. These nutrients help your body repair muscles and keep your energy steady. Stay hydrated and avoid too much salt, which can worsen swelling and fatigue. Let me share the story of Edna, a widow from Kansas City. Edna had always been active, tending her roses and volunteering at the local library. One spring, she noticed her legs felt unusually heavy while she gardened, and walks that used to leave her energized now made her tired and anxious. At first, she blamed it on a string of restless nights or just old bones. But when she nearly stumbled coming up her front steps, she confided in her daughter, who encouraged her to see her doctor. The diagnosis: mild peripheral artery disease, caught early. With her doctor's guidance, Edna started walking for just 5 minutes, several times a day, and made small changes to her meals, adding grilled chicken, steamed broccoli, and the occasional baked potato. She worked up to longer walks and did simple leg exercises every morning. Slowly, the heaviness faded. "It's not about running marathons," Edna jokes. "It's about taking one more step than yesterday." It's perfectly normal to feel frustrated or even scared when your body changes in ways you can't predict. But please remember, your legs are not betraying you, they're speaking up for you. By paying attention, asking for help, and taking gentle, consistent steps, you can keep moving confidently for years to come. So the next time your legs feel heavy, don't scold them. Thank them for all they've carried you through. The adventures, the hard days, the sweet moments with loved ones. Use their signals as a reminder. You deserve care, attention, and a life full of movement and joy. Reach out to your doctor if you notice changes, try a new exercise, or simply take a walk in the sunshine. Each step is a step toward better health, greater independence, and a future where your legs and your spirit remain strong. Because every journey, no matter how short, is worth celebrating. And every day that you listen to your body, you're choosing hope, courage, and the freedom to keep going one step at a time. 5. Poor balance or frequent tripping. It starts with little moments, hardly noticeable at first. Maybe you reach for something in the cupboard and sway slightly, or you catch your foot on a rug that never used to bother you. Perhaps you're walking down the hallway and your shoulder brushes the wall, just for a split second, but enough to make you stop and think. You may even notice that you're more cautious when stepping off a curb, or that you hesitate before climbing stairs. For many seniors, poor balance or frequent tripping can sneak up quietly, becoming part of the daily background until a close call, or even a fall, suddenly brings it into sharp focus. It's easy to chalk up these little wobbles to just getting older, but what if your balance problems are your body's way of sending you a message? What if, by noticing and responding to these early signs, you could prevent more serious injuries and reclaim a sense of confidence and safety with every step? Let's challenge the familiar story. In American culture, independence is prized. The idea of moving freely, of walking to the store, tending the garden, or chasing grandchildren, is a kind of freedom we treasure deeply. So when your balance begins to falter, it can feel like a personal loss. Too often, people ignore the signs, or quietly accept them as their new normal. But the truth is, poor balance is not just a matter of aging. It can be a clue that your muscles, nerves, or even your inner ear are calling out for attention. So, what causes these balance changes? The answer is complex, but it's also empowering because many causes are manageable or even reversible. As we age, muscles, especially those in our legs and core, naturally lose some strength and flexibility. This makes it harder to recover from a stumble. Nerve pathways can slow down, affecting how quickly our brain reacts to a trip or shift in weight. Vision changes can make it more difficult to see hazards in our path. Sometimes, medications, especially those for blood pressure, sleep, or anxiety, can make us feel dizzy or less steady on our feet. There's another piece of the puzzle too: the inner ear. This remarkable system, no bigger than a marble, acts as your body's gyroscope, telling your brain which way is up. Inner ear problems, even mild ones, can create a sense of spinning or imbalance, sometimes so subtle you hardly notice, until you reach for the counter or grab a chair to steady yourself. But the message here isn't one of doom and gloom. The very fact that you notice your balance isn't what it used to be is a hopeful sign. It means you're listening to your body. And with the right strategies, you can respond with practical steps to improve your balance and reduce your risk of falls. So, what can you do? The first step is to make your environment safer. Remove loose rugs, cords, and clutter from walkways. Make sure your home is well lit, especially at night, and consider adding handrails to stairs and grab bars in the bathroom. Don't be shy about using a cane or walker if your doctor recommends it. These tools are signs of strength, not weakness. But the most powerful changes happen in your own body. Gentle exercises that focus on strength and balance can dramatically reduce your risk of falling. Tai Chi, yoga, and even simple routines like standing on one foot while holding onto a chair can make a huge difference. Try rising on your toes, slowly lowering yourself, and repeating this for a few minutes each day. Practice walking heel to toe in a straight line, or do gentle stretches for your ankles and calves. The key is consistency. A little every day adds up to powerful protection over time. Stay on top of regular checkups. Have your vision and hearing tested each year, as changes in either can affect your balance. If you feel dizzy or off balance when standing up, talk to your doctor about your medications. They might be able to adjust your prescriptions to help you feel steadier. Good foot care is crucial too. Well-fitting shoes with non-slip soles provide vital support. Let me tell you about Walter, a retired firefighter from Virginia. Walter prided himself on his independence and was always the first to lend a hand to his neighbors. But after a minor fall while raking leaves, he noticed he was bumping into furniture more often, and sometimes felt a little dizzy when getting up too quickly. At first, he tried to brush it off, embarrassed to mention it even to his wife. But after tripping on the porch step and bruising his arm, he decided it was time to act. Walter talked with his doctor, who encouraged him to start a balance class at the local community center. There, Walter met other seniors facing the same challenges. Through gentle exercises, laughter, and encouragement, his balance slowly improved. He rearranged his living room to keep paths clear and installed grab bars in the bathroom. It was tough admitting I needed help, Walter says now, but I feel so much stronger and safer because of it. His story is proof that change is possible, no matter your age. If you find yourself stumbling, swaying, or feeling uncertain on your feet, don't ignore those feelings. Instead, treat them as a call to action. You deserve to move through life with confidence and joy, not fear. Every step you take toward better balance is a gift to yourself and to those who love you. So the next time you feel a wobble, remember, it's not just your body failing, it's your body asking for your care and attention. By listening, making small changes at home, and staying active, you can keep your balance, protect your independence, and embrace every day with steady, courageous steps. After all, your journey isn't defined by a stumble or a trip. It's defined by your resilience, your willingness to adapt, and your spirit that keeps moving forward, one sure step at a time. 6. Cold legs or discoloration of the skin. It's a chilly morning, and as you sit with your favorite cup of coffee, you notice something a bit odd. Your legs feel cold to the touch, almost as if you've forgotten to pull on your socks. Maybe you glance down and see the skin on your shins or feet looks paler than usual, or even a bit bluish or purple in certain spots. Sometimes, the color returns if you rub your legs, but often the coolness or discoloration lingers, even when the rest of you feels perfectly warm. At first, you might brush it off as poor circulation or just the weather. After all, everyone's feet get cold from time to time, right? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But what if your body is quietly trying to get your attention? Many seniors notice changes in the temperature and color of their legs and feet, especially after sitting for a while or during colder months. You may not think much of it, especially if it's painless. But in truth, these subtle changes can be your body's early warning signs, signals that deserve to be heard and respected, not ignored. Let's pause and challenge the old assumption that cold legs are just part of growing older. Instead, consider that your legs may be telling you something vital about your circulation. When your legs don't get enough warm, oxygen-rich blood, they can feel unusually cold, even in a warm room. The skin may appear pale, bluish, or mottled because blood isn't flowing the way it should. And while this isn't always a sign of something serious, persistent coldness or discoloration should never be brushed aside. So, what causes this to happen? The most common reason is poor blood flow, or peripheral artery disease, PAD. As we age, the arteries that carry blood down to our legs can slowly become narrowed by plaque. Think of it like a garden hose getting clogged over time. With less space for blood to move, your legs get less warmth and oxygen. You might notice this problem more in one leg than the other, or after walking or standing for a long time. Other signs include hair loss on the shins, shiny or thin skin, and wounds that seem slow to heal. But poor circulation isn't the only reason. Certain heart conditions, diabetes, or even sitting in one position for too long can all contribute to cold or discolored legs. Sometimes, the nerves that sense temperature aren't as sharp as they used to be, and you may not notice cold until you see the color change. Even medications can play a part. It's easy to want to ignore these changes, especially if they're not painful, but it's important to listen. Cold legs or skin color changes are your body's gentle way of asking for help. Left unchecked, poor circulation can lead to sores, infections, or even more serious problems down the road. So what can you do? The first and most important step is to check your legs and feet regularly. Run your hand along your skin. Does one leg feel colder than the other? Look for any color changes, especially patches of blue, purple, or even red. If you notice any wounds, blisters, or sores that aren't healing, make a note to discuss them with your doctor. Stay active throughout the day. Gentle movement, like ankle circles, wiggling your toes, or taking short walks, helps blood flow to your legs and feet. If you're sitting for long stretches, prop your feet up on a stool to keep blood from pooling in your lower legs. Compression socks can also help some people, but always ask your doctor before starting to use them, especially if you have heart or circulation issues. Keep your legs warm, especially in winter. Cozy socks and slippers are your friends. Avoid sitting with your legs crossed for long periods, as this can further restrict blood flow. And don't smoke. Smoking is one of the leading causes of circulation problems, and quitting can make a world of difference for your legs and your overall health. Nutrition plays a role too. Foods rich in antioxidants, such as berries, leafy greens, and whole grains, can help keep blood vessels healthy. Stay well hydrated and talk with your doctor about ways to manage cholesterol and blood pressure, as these factors affect circulation over time. Let me share a story about Patricia, a retired school secretary from upstate New York. Patricia had always struggled with cold feet, but one winter she noticed her left foot stayed icy even under thick blankets, and the skin on her toes looked bluish. At first, she chalked it up to the cold house and got older. But when a tiny cut on her toe took weeks to heal, her daughter convinced her to see the doctor. After some tests, Patricia learned she had early-stage PAD. With her doctor's guidance, she started taking regular walks in her neighborhood, changed her diet, and took medication to help her circulation. She now checks her feet every evening and wears warm socks all year long. Amazingly, the difference paying attention can make, she says. I feel safer and warmer, knowing I'm taking care of myself. It's normal to feel uneasy when you notice changes in your body, especially if they seem small or strange. But you are not alone. Millions of older Americans experience similar symptoms, and there is help and hope available. If your legs are cold, pale, or change color and it doesn't go away, don't hesitate to call your doctor. Early detection can make all the difference. Remember, your legs have carried you through a lifetime of adventures, big and small. They've walked you through family gatherings, neighborhood strolls, and quiet moments at home. By listening to their signals, no matter how subtle, you are showing yourself respect and care. With attention, movement, and a little extra warmth, you can keep your legs healthy and strong for years to come. So tonight, as you tuck yourself in or wrap up in a cozy blanket, take a moment to thank your legs for their hard work. Promise them, and yourself, that you'll keep listening, moving, and caring for them with all the love and attention they deserve. Because every step you take matters, and your journey is far from over. As we reach the end of this journey together, let's take a gentle moment to reflect. Our legs have carried us faithfully through decades, across dance floors, up mountains, along city streets, and through every chapter of our lives. They have supported us in moments of joy and held steady through times of sorrow. It's easy to take them for granted, to dismiss those little aches, odd sensations, or changes as just part of getting older. But as we've seen today, every cramp, every tingle, every moment of weakness or swelling is your body's way of whispering, "Pay attention. Take care of me, and I'll keep taking care of you." Ignoring these signs doesn't make them go away, it just lets them grow. But by listening closely and acting early, you have the power to protect not just your legs, but your independence, your energy, and your precious time with loved ones. Simple habits: staying active, nourishing your body, staying connected with your doctor, and checking your legs regularly can make all the difference. Remember, you are not alone. Every senior faces challenges, but together, we can meet them with knowledge, courage, and hope. Share what you've learned with friends and family. Ask questions. Reach out when you need help. And above all, honor your body for the remarkable journey it has made, and continues to make every single day. So tonight, as you rest, know this: by listening to your legs, you're listening to your future. Take those steps with care and confidence. The best is yet to come.